Hello, I just got back from wreath making with the Pennyroyal Master Gardener crew up at the why can't I talk right? I never can. Hopkins County Extension Office, let me finish that. And I got picked up a native tree calendar for next year, which is cool because I was going to order a Farmer's Almanac calendar again because I liked that, reading about different planty stuff once a month. But this is cool too because it's going to help me learn more about my native trees. So that's also cool. Plus, it's free. So let me show you the wreath. Hello, Walter. How are you, sir? So this morning before I went to volunteer, I took cuttings of some of my boxwoods, and on the insides, they're just really ugly. Let me see if I can show you behind a boxwood here without getting too cold. See, I'm talking about getting too cold. All right, yeah, they're kind of ugly, so I did take some cuttings off of it. I did not take cuttings off the azaleas here because they're not growing so well for Chad. So he said when he raised his silkies here, I'm going to set down my phone and pick up Walter. When he raised his silkies here, he would let them free range up here and scratch and poop and hang out in the bushes, which they preferred. When I kept birds here, that's not typically what they preferred. They liked hanging out there quite a bit, but they like to go everywhere. But apparently his like there and then following him behind the lawnmower. But he did notice that the azalea bushes were very robust and growing beautiful. And I said, knowing what I know about the tables and breakdowns of organic gardening and stuff like that, I think what the chickens were doing there was pooping, and that was acidic. Azaleas like slightly acidic soil, and it's also fertilizing them and breaking down slowly. So it was a good long-lasting fertilizer, and it would just sit on top of the soil there and slowly break down, and it worked out great. So I said, well, why don't we clean out the camper and top dress and kind of work in maybe a little bit in the soil. The camper stuff, the bedding, that soft pine in there, so that's going to be acidic and break down slowly. You got the chicken poop in there and some feathers, and then you can put the rest of it in the compost pile out there. But I just think that would be a good natural fertilizer for the azalea bushes. But so now that Walter wants to eat, I did tried to do proper pruning techniques on the holly bushes here because holly's awesome for this time of year cuttings. I was thinking originally that these down here were holly, but I guess I never really paid attention to them. They are not. I don't know what that is. If someone knows, please let me know before I use one of my plant IDs to try to figure it out, which may not happen today because it's cold and wet and gross out. Anyway, so I was doing like the inner cross branches and stuff. Down there it's pretty thick, and then up at the top I kind of let them bush up a little bit, but that's what I was trying to do. I figured maybe I could work on it some more later or next year. But yeah, we had like lots of people brought branches in. There was some whole Christmas trees just still wrapped in the wire. So we were thinking maybe we should get the tractor out and cut on this pine tree here, but nah, we didn't have to do that. So if you're into the wreath making thing and you're in the area, that's something to look into. I don't know what other Master Gardener groups got going on there, but that's what we did in Hopkins County. I suppose I should show you the wreath. Here, let me open the door. I'm sorry, my finger hit a button. But it's really pretty. We didn't have enough gardening tools, so next year we're going to bring our own clippers and stuff too, and hot glue guns. We just had some wires and some tin snips as far as that goes. But this was their second year doing it, so. But I chose blue and white for winter, so it could not just be about necessarily Christmas or a holiday. It's for the season. I guess it would have made more sense if I finished a story. We didn't have enough pruners around, and so I just let everybody else do it first, and then I was going to do one if we had anything left over. This is the smaller size wreath, and then they had a bigger wreath too. I chose the smaller one. And actually someone else there that was making wreaths made that one for me since we didn't have enough, and I was just waiting my turn. So I said, you know what? If I don't end up with one, it's fine. And she made me one. It looks great. I stuck the bow and the flowers on though, but together we made it look great. I have seed mail too. The rest of my native flower seeds came in, and like I said, I have more tops than bottoms as far as my winter sowing goes. So I do have a couple jugs in there, milk and cranberry pomegranate juice. So hopefully I'll have more to do this winter. But this is from Vermont Wildflower Farms, from Hinesburg, Vermont. And this is how they packaged it. Look how cute the envelope is. Isn't it cute? What's it say on the back? Please recycle. So please recycle the packaging. Alrighty. Wildflowers, and they got pictures of different ones on the front. And then it says, thank you for planting wildflowers for the bees, birds, and butterflies. We appreciate you. Take 10% off your 10% off your next order using code WILDVT at checkout. Excuse me. We love seeing photos of your gardens. For every photo we post, we'll add 1,000 reward points to your account. This can add up quickly. Send your photos to support at vermontwildflowerfarm.com. Okay, so that's kind of cool to know. Germination codes and tree seed info. It just tells you on the back, like the germination codes, when it's best time to plant it, and basic instructions for those class grouped in those groups. I'm so sorry. I'm still getting over being sick, and right now my throat's tickling. Hang on. Oh, my eyes might start watering now. Okay, let's try to planting guides. I sent a pamphlet on, or a booklet, whatever you want to call it, for 6 pages. How to plant wildflowers like plura. I really can't talk today. Tips for native wildflowers, woodland and rare wildflowers. About stratification of native and woodland species. So, a little more information in this book too, which is cool. So, first thing they did was tossed in a free packet of mixed wildflower seeds, which is great. And so it says, when to plant in spring after danger of frost, in summer up to 2 months before frost, or in fall after killing frost. So just don't plant it in the dead of winter. I suppose it wouldn't be bad, or the middle of summer would actually be really bad. So so I got Jack in the Pulpit. What else did I get? Bradbury's Bee Balm, Wild Blue Indigo, Turtle Head, Virginia Bluebells, Eastern Red Columbine, Great Blue Lobelia. Did I get 2 Great Blue Lobelias? No, Wild Blue Indigo. Okay. Crazy. And Obedient Plant. So those are my picks from Vermont Wildflower Farm. All right, guys. Now I'm not kidding. I'm going to get off here and do some dishes and take care of plants. I love you, and so does Jesus. God bless.